Right, I'm going to have a go at these radiators this afternoon. It's currently 2 degrees outside. Managed to get it to 17 in here at the moment. There'll be no more spraying of tanks until Thursday this week, because it's going to drop to minus figures until Thursday from tonight. But I thought I would just sort of sneak this in, get these coated with a bit of this. This turned up, nothing too fancy for these, just a bit of super gloss, and then I can reassemble these whilst it's freezing cold outside in the week. So right, we're back inside. Tanks come in with me. I'll talk about that later. But it looks quite shiny. And the rads are in as well. So I'm going to put these back on the engine. They've come up quite nice. I think I'm going to touch up this radiator cap. Probably do that by hand with a brush. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with the finish on those. Got some fingerprints on them already. But yes, let's mount them on the block. So it's -3 outside. We're indoors tinkering with the engine. Put the radiators on there. Just going to drop my overflow pipe into my overflow pot. But yeah, I've washed all of the silicone hoses and even give my stainless steel Jubilee clips a bit of a clean up. So we've put it all back on. It's all had a little bit of a polish and shine. So I was going to turn my attention to the things that go in here, the EGTs. These turned up. They're Chinese specials. They're £14 for these thermocouples. LAS. Looked at them. They've got some for a ridiculous fee of about £70 each. Also looked on the SkyDrive website. I think they had some listed, £30 each or something like that. But guess what? They're out of stock. So these have turned up. They are the right size to screw straight into the bottom of the manifold, because the later manifold comes with these. I think they're M6 or M8. What do you think? M8 threads. My only concern is I don't think that they will protrude into the gas flow to the same length as the other ones. The other ones are stuck up about 10mm or so, where these definitely won't. But for £14 I'm going to give them a try. I bought some thermocouple connectors. Don't know what's special about those, but yeah, these are proper thermocouple connectors, and I'm going to use those to join them to the thermocouple wiring that goes to the panel. I'm not going to try and thread these all the way through. They're not long enough anyway, but I'm going to join them under the engine best I can. So yeah, just a little smear of copper slip, and then we're going to just try popping it in. Okay, well the saga continues, because trying to wind these in here. It says on the packet, where does it see it? M8. It looks to me like these screw threads are not M8, or they're not the same pitch potentially. Not sure, but that doesn't want to go in there. Might get my M8 tap and just try it up against that and see what the crack is. So I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but all those errors searching the internet for a thermocouple with an M8 thread on there. It might be M8, but it's a different pitch entirely, much finer on the bolts that I made for my captive ones previously. So looks like I've wasted my time trying to find those. I think these aren't going to go in. It's just going to screw the threads up. So I'm thinking I might be able to cut the ends off. I might be able to beat these, crunch them, punch them back out. They definitely didn't want to move, but now I can get them into the vise. I could probably tap that through with a bit of wiggling, and then there might be the case that I can then cut the end off, pull these through, and go from there maybe. Right, they took some getting out, but I managed to get the old thermocouples out of the bolts I made last time. So time to cut the end off these and see whether these ones will thread in or whether we're going to make these holes a little bit bigger. Okay, so they fit. So I don't know if you can see that in there, but that setup isn't going to work as it is. It's just too short. But what I can do is I can buy myself some more of these M8 bolts and make them longer. And if it's got a longer bolt, it will come up and it will protrude more into the airflow. So I don't know if you can see that. There you go. So what I need to do is look for some longer M8 bolts. I may have some in the works. These turned up today for the EGT. A little bit longer than the one I made last time. So, and they are the fine thread, which that wasn't. So here's my two bolts that I've shortened to what I'm hoping is the right length. So now I've got to drop some holes right through the centre of those. So there we have it, two new thermocouples. Took the old bolt off, which was 8mm but a coarse thread. I bought my own 8mm fine thread bolts and I've drilled them out and I've threaded the thermocouples through. So let's just go pop them on the manifold and see if they stick up into the gas flow just the right amount. And there is the thermocouple in its longer bolt sticking up in the gas flow. So that should be just about in the right position. Doesn't have to be right up in the middle surely, so we'll see if that works. So there's the slipper. And again, the slipper's not in terrible condition. The paint that David put on there back in the 89, 90, did I say it was? Just a couple of chips here and there. Yeah, so just to make sure that I'm getting the hang of things before I get onto the monocoque, and just to make sure that they're the same colour, I'll flat this one back lightly and we'll have a go at spraying this one too.